Kid print. Celebrating 40 years of National Center of Missing and Exploited Kids. In the early 1990s, NCMEC and Blockbuster Video collaborated on a project called Kid Print. Rolled out across Blockbuster's 1,300 stores nationwide, the initiative allowed parents to bring their children to the stores and have them recorded for free on VHS tapes. The aim was to provide parents with a visual record in case their child ever went missing. In the late 1970s and early 80s, a series of tragic events, including the abduction of Eaton Patz and Adam Walsh, along with a string of kidnappings and murders in Atlanta, Georgia, brought attention to the pressing issue of missing children in the United States. With children disappearing across the country and limited resources available for law enforcement and families, parents and advocates united to push Congress into action. Their efforts bore fruit in 1984 when President Ronald Reagan formally established the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, to serve as the primary resource for missing children nationwide. Over the past 4 decades, NCMEC has expanded its mission to include protecting children from exploitation. In 1998, the Cyber Tip Line was launched to combat the threat of child sexual exploitation, continuously monitoring and addressing emerging online dangers to children. Staying true to its founding principles, NCMEC has played a vital role in the recovery of over 400,000 missing children. It has circulated billions of photos of missing children. The organization has created thousands of age progressed photos of long term missing children and hundreds of facial reconstructions to aid in identifying unidentified children. NCMEC's unwavering dedication over the past 40 years has centered around one core objective: ensuring every child has a safe childhood. Blog will be updated weekly with highlights from NCMEC's 40-year history. Followers can also engage with NCMEC's social channels at NCMEC every Wednesday to like and share posts, spreading awareness about the history of child protection in America. The NCMEC website is www.missingkids.org/home.
Are victims of abduction, but there is something you can do now that will help in search of your child if he or she is ever missing. It's called Kid Print, and it works like this. During August, bring your child and a blank tape to the nearest Blockbuster video store. A video is made of your child. It only takes a few minutes, and it's free. Then if something should happen, you have a current video of your child to give to the police. Please take the time to Kid Print your child.
Protect yourself. NCMEC gains a spokesbear. Protect Yourself PSA with Teddy Ruxpin. Towards the end of 1985, Teddy Ruxpin, the beloved talking teddy bear, assumed the role of the official spokesbear for NCMEC, endorsing educational initiatives for children. This lovable bear provided guidance on avoiding the abduction and sexual exploitation. Additionally, an animated version of Teddy starred in Protect Yourself, public service announcements, PSAs, aired alongside episodes of The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin cartoon series, featuring numerous well-known celebrities such as Shannon Doherty.
I'm Teddy Ruxpin, and the official spokesbearer for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Now meet a friend of mine with some good advice.
Thanks, Teddy. Your parents have probably taught you to be polite to grown-ups. But it's important for you to know that if anybody asks you to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable, you have the right to say no, even to a friend or relative.
Protect yourself.
When Camille Bell's son was killed during the Atlanta child murders, she rallied her city to demand justice. Camille Bell becomes an advocate following the Atlanta child murders. Following the tragic loss of her son Yusuf in 1979, Camille Bell emerged as a fervent advocate for Atlanta's missing and murdered children. Yusuf was one of 29 African American boys and young men abducted and killed in Atlanta, Georgia, during the period from 1979 to 1981. These unsettling incidents, dubbed the Atlanta child murders, played a pivotal role in catalyzing the inaugural national synopsis on missing and murdered children in Kentucky. Event served as a catalyst for the establishment of NCMEC.
There is someone in this city who is picking up boys, black, between the ages of 8 and 12. Little boys on the streets are not safe alone anymore.
Amber Alert. Amber Hagerman and the foundation of Amber Alerts. When your phone receives an Amber Alert notification, it's a reminder of a legacy that spans nearly 3 decades. In 1996, the abduction of 9-year-old Amber Hagerman as she rode her bike in an empty grocery store parking lot in Arlington, Texas, shook the nation. Tragically, Amber was found murdered several days later. This heartbreaking event sparked the conception of an Amber Alert, which has since evolved into the Amber Alert program we depend on today. Brazil Sutton's role in NCMEC's formation.
We didn't know what we could do. Didn't have the slightest notion as to what could be done. But we knew something had to be done. So we set out to try to do something. Created the center, and then the center created programs of approach to the problem. When you get involved in these things, you can't have the slightest notion or imagination of how far they can go.
Roselle Sutton's role in the NCMEC's formation. Roselle Sutton, a prominent civil rights activist who stood alongside Martin Luther King Jr. during the 1960s, played a pivotal role more than 2 decades later in the establishment of what is now the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, as the nation grappled with the heart wrenching abductions and murders of young children like Eaton Patz, Adam Walsh, and numerous boys in Atlanta, a movement advocating for missing children gained momentum. Sutton emerged as a key figure, instrumental in organizing and securing funding for a crucial event, a national synopsis aimed at addressing the urgent issues surrounding missing and murdered children. The synopsis, titled Child Tragedies, a national synopsis on exploited and victimized children, convened in Louisville, Kentucky in 1981, drawing together politicians, child advocates, and family of victims, including John Walsh, Julie Patz, Camille Bell, and Rosemary Combe. Through the collaborative efforts of those involved, NCMEC was founded in April of 1984, marking a significant milestone in the fight against children exploitation and abduction. Sutton became a founding member of NCMEC's executive board, lending his expertise and dedication to the cause. Recognized as one of the 100 most influential African American leaders by Ebony magazine, Sutton was also honored with the Congressional Gold Medal, the nation's highest civilian honor, for his distinguished achievements, including his groundbreaking service as one of the first African Americans to serve in the U.S. Marine Corps. Sutton passed away in Atlanta in 2015 at the age of 90, leaving behind a profound legacy of advocacy and activism in the service of children and civil rights.